Tom Welling is co-starring in a movie with Jennifer Garner and Kevin Costner. It's entitled Draft Day. It's out today in theaters, featuring the Cleveland Browns. I had a chance to talk with him about the movie. Tom, first of all, when people come to you with projects and you look at them, what made this one attractive?
Well, to be honest, one was the fact that Kevin Costner was going to be in it and Ivan was going to direct it, which I thought was a really interesting combination, as well as it being in the world of football and being exploring a world of the draft day, literally, and a world that I didn't know much about, but I thought would be interesting to explore.
Well, it's not as if you're not an athlete, because I believe you're a baseball, soccer guy, and you're a big basketball guy. So, but this is a football film. What, though, always drew you to sports?
I don't know. I guess when I was a kid, I was always moving around. My mom was always telling me to, go outside until the streetlights came on, and I just kind of grew up always doing it, and it's always fun, I guess, in a way, to try to just achieve and to compete and to, beat the next guy. I think those are all sort of fun sort of guy things.
You're also in an interesting spot in this movie because you're the veteran quarterback, but you're also the veteran quarterback that's on the comeback trail and doing well. A lot of actors do a lot of work away from, obviously, the set. Did you consult with anyone as to how to play this part?
Yeah, it's funny. Only in this sport can you be like 34 years old and be a veteran and be, a dinosaur. But I did speak to some guys. I spoke to Matt Leinart, actually, was a big help. I went and sat with him for a while, and we discussed not really like the game of football, but more of the lifestyle of what it means to be an NFL quarterback and a player. And with the traveling and the effects that a lot of the challenges affect the relationships you have in your life. We see these guys play on Sunday, and it's all supposed to look so great and so perfect, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind it. And a lot of these guys, it seems, they use it as motivation, sometimes even from a fear-based perspective, to go in there every day and go even harder, because every day there's somebody else trying to either literally take your head off or take your job.
Yeah, exactly. You're also playing opposite at times. I believe Dennis Leary in this movie. So as a fellow Red Sox fan, I like that. But still, give me an idea about playing off of him.
Yeah, actually, I don't have any scenes with Dennis.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, mine are with the Kevin.
Okay.
Which was great and fantastic. I mean, when I met him, it was like me meeting. It was like actually just meeting Kevin Costner, which was something I looked forward to. And then, 20 minutes later, we're doing a scene together. Right. And then, we're done the scene, and I walk away going, oh, I just met Kevin Costner. And then I'd remind myself I just worked with Kevin Costner. I mean, he's really just this really fantastic guy to work with. He's, a great partner in a scene, and he has this way of really putting you to ease and just making you feel comfortable and kind of go in there and get the work done.
He always gives one the impression, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, that the guy that you see on screen as to how he delivers his lines is pretty close to the guy you see that you talk to off the screen.
Yeah, it is close. He and what he has on and off screen, and I don't know how he does it, but there's like a authenticity and a genuineness that it just, I don't know, it's really grounding.
For you, I mentioned to you earlier that you had played sports growing up. Were there favorite teams for you growing up? Was there a team that you locked in? This is about the Cleveland Browns. Was there a team that you locked in growing up on?
There really wasn't. Watched a lot of Cardinal games. My parents were both from St. Louis, so we grew up watching a lot of St. Louis Cardinal games, and now I do find myself checking in on the Browns. Last year, while the scene was being cut and everything, I found myself following them a little bit, and I hope they can do a little bit better this year than last year.
Yeah, they have a prime draft spot, so that's why draft day is perfect in terms of when it comes out. Yeah, same thing. Well, it's odd because Bill O'Brien had been the coach here at Penn State, and I work with Bill. He's now the Houston Texans coach. He has the first pick this year, so that'll draw some people around here to watching the movie even more so. What is it about... You've done work in front of the camera, but you've also done work in back of the camera. Tom, for you, what's the challenge of each and what motivates you on each?
The challenge for each is, to learn more about how to be prepared. But I think by doing, acting, directing, and producing, I kind of see them as three different languages, and the better you can speak those languages, the better you can communicate with the other people who are holding the other positions. And I think for me, it all comes down to storytelling, and in all three disciplines, they just sort of shine a light on different perspectives on the story and how to understand the story in some ways, and also how to execute, telling the story.
You mentioned earlier that one of the appeals to doing this movie was working with Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
What vision did he bring to this that you appreciated, and also at the same time, what is the motivator of working with someone like him?
Well, the motivator working with someone, guys, you know he knows what he's doing, and I hope that doesn't sound ridiculous, because the reason why that works is because you can go to work and you can do your job because you know that he's going to make you better, and then he's going to take care of everything else. And that doesn't always happen. You hope it does. And his vision was always to keep the material grounded in a way that, you watch this movie and everybody's making choices you feel like they would make. People ask me if it's based on a true story. After I saw the first film, I was like, is this based on a true story? Because it feels so real. Yeah. You can totally feel like this is what happens on a day of the draft, and you kind of hope it does.
Yeah, it's also interesting that they also popped in a lot of cameos from different individuals that would be around the draft. The commissioner, I believe, has a cameo in this. Chris Berman's in this at some point. How much does that give the film more of a real feel to you?
Yeah, this is the first film the NFL has ever endorsed, and what that allowed for us was access to training facilities, uniforms. We actually got to use a real NFL team, and I think that helps it feel much more believable. Like you said, we got some players in there, and I think it just gives it a sense of reality where you feel like you're right there in the moment, waiting for the. And it's it's like a ticking clock or a ticking bomb sort of feel. Literally, the bomb's going to explode, and Kevin's only got so much time to defuse it. Right. It's a fun ride.
It's a fun ride. What was it like for you being around the athletes?
It was cool. We had this scene where we all get together and we sort of it's at the end of the film, and we run out onto the field, and just before there's a big sort of like chant that we do, and it was funny at the beginning. The actors we were sort of like on two different sides, not sure how to talk to each other. But it turns out that actors need a lot of help from the players because of what how to wear uniforms, or how to hold the helmets, or what did players do. And then on the other side, the athletes were like, wait a minute, when I say this, how am I supposed to say it like this? How would you guys do this? And at the end, we all just started helping each other, and it did feel like a team running out in the field. It was great.
Finally, what was the overall experience like for you? There's a lot of time that you have to put in to make this work. Everybody had to put in their time to make this work. In terms of how did it feel to you in the end?
It felt like I was part of a team, and it's bittersweet when these things are over because you feel like you did something great, but at the same time, everybody kind of goes their different directions. So I just felt like I was part of a great team. When I saw Kevin at one of the premieres we had in LA, I was like, I think we did a good one, and it felt like I felt like we played a good game. That's what it felt like.
Really looking forward to seeing it because it's out across the country beginning Friday, April 11th. Tom, thank you very much for your valuable time.
Thank you, Steve.